Okay, welcome back to the channel everybody, hope you're doing well, hope everyone's all good and all groovy. So, today obviously we're talking about the new DJI Mavic Air 2. So I hope you enjoyed that little drone montage that I did at the start. Obviously, eagle-eyed viewers will recognise, obviously, that montage had the music that Casey Neistat used on one of his drone review videos. I've been dying to use that song for such a long time, but obviously I wasn't sure how to use it, and I definitely thought it was worth using with an epic little drone video. So obviously those of you who know me, and obviously those of you who watch this channel religiously, know that I'm obviously a commercially qualified drone pilot. Now, obviously I've used a variety of different drones, and I would say that I'm a fairly decent drone pilot. Not perfect, not the best, but pretty good.
Pretty good.
Now, the one thing that I have a big issue with sometimes is obviously the size of these things. Now, obviously, I've been a big fan of the Mavic Pro for such a long time. That has been my go-to drone for nearly all of my drone footage. Pretty much as soon as DJI announced the Mavic Air 2, I was like, wow, that looks like a bit of me. Where the Mavic Air 2 sits nicely in the set, what DJI have done, which is what a lot of companies do, especially when they've established themselves, similar to what, say, maybe car manufacturers do, they create these things and obviously they just slot them in nicely in one position. So obviously you've got the top of the end, which is the Mavic Pro 2 or 2 Pro, and obviously the zoom, which obviously, as you would expect, are the more expensive versions. You've then got the bottom of the series, which is the Mavic Mini, which obviously is a lot smaller, has a lot less kit in it, but obviously is a lot less expensive. And then you've got this one that sits nice in the middle, obviously is a bit smaller than the Mavic, a bit bigger than the Mini, but then also a lot cheaper than the Pro and more expensive than the Mini. The good news is, my friends, that is where that system ends, because this thing is loaded with goodies. So all of the footage you've seen so far has been recorded at 4K 24 frames per second. The idea that actually now it's not stuck at 30 frames and actually you can downgrade it to 24 frames is absolutely epic, but it's not this drone's party piece. 4K 60 frames per second, which I'll be using a lot, and 1080 at 120, and get this, 240. Now, I haven't done any research into the 240. I'm gonna guess that 240 is gonna come with one hell of a crop, but not bad really, is it? From this tiny little drone. Okay, rookie error number 1. I have run out of memory because I am a wombat. So I didn't take the SD card out of my old drone to put it in my new one. But there we go. So just going to drive home, put the SD card in, then we can go back out, do some more flying. Okay, so we've got 2 more stops to go. This one's going to be epic, but I'm going to showcase you one of the drone's major party pieces, and that is photography. Okay, this is the last stop for this epic tiny little drone. I just want to show you one more bit of footage. We're at Woolacombe Bay. Woolacombe is registered and recognised as one of the very best beaches in the UK. So, let's do this. So there we have it, guys, the DJI Mavic Air 2. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Obviously, I don't really do reviews. It's more, obviously, I want to see what a camera is actually capable of doing, and hopefully you do too, and hopefully you enjoyed some of the footage that I got. Obviously, it was quite subtle, simple footage, nothing too difficult, nothing too taxing, nothing too tricky, just to obviously just showcase purely exactly what this can do. Obviously, those of you will have noticed that in the studio we've got new audio equipment, so that's pretty cool, but maybe we'll talk about that in another video. Some of you may have watched and asked how I got those shots in the car. Now, this may come up in another video, but I actually got one of these. Now, this is called a Delkin Fat Gecko. It's a 3-piece tripod mount for DSLR cameras, and actually this thing, as you can probably tell, was pretty impressive. Maybe a video to come about this, maybe not. Just a cool little accessory. Now, I don't want to rattle on too much. Obviously, you could see that that footage was obviously beautifully crispy. I have one small confession, and that is that the photography side of things, I was a bit of a donut. Whereas with the video, I put it in cine-like. Actually, with the photos, I actually took those photos on JPEG and not RAW, because I'm a donut. But still, even though they were JPEG photos, I think you will agree, pretty good. But before we finish up, let's talk about 3 quick-fire things that I really like about this drone, and one thing that I think, yeah, could be better. Okay, first thing, this thing is built like a tank. It feels so much more sturdier than my Mavic Pro, and it is awesome. I love the fact that it's so small. It fits even smaller into my kit now, and that is exactly what I wanted. And I love 2 things about this controller. This controller has split opinion a little bit, but to me, this new controller is absolutely superb. So firstly, that you mount your phone on the top and not the bottom of the controller just makes so much more sense. It's so much easier to be able to watch the drone in the sky and then just quickly glance down at your screen and then look back up at the drone, and it makes so much sense rather than looking down, taking your eyes off the drone, focusing on what you need to focus on and then looking up. Just doesn't make any sense. And then thirdly, friends of mine will know that I've done this and been an absolute wally. I've been to some magnificent places and I've simply left my cable at home. So the fact that the cable is now mounted into the controller and the little lead just pops out, plants in your phone, so much easier, so much better. And the one thing maybe I'm not too hot on is the actual charging port. Now, obviously, as everything gets smaller, also the charging station gets smaller. The only bugbear I've got with that, and it is only a minor gripe, is that on my old Mavic 2, I had 2 USB ports so I could charge the controller and I could also charge another device. That was very, very handy. Now, with the smaller battery, it's now only got 1 USB port, so you can only charge one thing. So naturally, you'd probably charge the controller, whereas obviously I used to use mine maybe to charge the controller, but also then charge my GoPro. Maybe. I've been Danny Hollywood of DannyHollywood.com. You guys have been awesome. We are Team Hollywood. What an epic little drone.